You helped cause this mess, and you can help pay to clear it up. The Conservative Party has always been ready to help those in need. But we've also said that there are no rights without responsibilities, no help without conditions. That is what we have said to the poorest people in our society, and I'm not going to say anything different to the richest people in our society. And for those on the left who think that the Conservatives won't act, I've got a message for you too. Unlike New Labour, we are not bedazzled by big money. We respect wealth creation, but unlike New Labour, we don't fawn over it. It wasn't New Labour who was the first to say that the non-doms should pay their fair share, and it wasn't the Conservatives who opposed a temporary ban on short selling. You know what Gordon Brown is trying to do? He wants to blame the right for the failures of the left. But Gordon, you won't get away with blaming us for casino capitalism when you're the man who's been running the casino and collecting in the chips for the last 10 years. Let me remind you, it is the Conservatives who published a report on problem debt 3 years ago and ran a national campaign 2 years ago to warn people of its dangers. It's the Conservatives who, for the last year, have offered bipartisan support to increase protection for savers. It's Conservatives who now want to give power to the Bank of England to call time on reckless borrowing. We Conservatives fought the last general election warning that borrowing was out of control, and it is we Conservatives who will fight the next election promising to bring borrowing under control. For let me tell you a second hard and uncomfortable truth. Government has to live within its means. And that means, as well as financial responsibility, we need fiscal responsibility. These are times of great economic distress for families. I know many, many families struggling with rising bills and higher costs. I know there are many families who are now worrying about their jobs and keeping up their mortgage payments. And I give you this pledge. We Conservatives will do everything possible, everything in our power to help. We will cut your petrol taxes as oil prices rise. We will get you on the lowest rates for your gas and electricity. We will take young families facing higher mortgage costs permanently out of stamp duty. We will give companies facing bankruptcy a breathing space to protect your job. We will abandon Labour's grotesquely ill-conceived and ill-timed new tax on family cars. We will not leave you alone in this crisis. I wish I could do even more. A responsible government would be able to use all that money that they had put aside in those good years to help families now that times are tough. And that's what many governments are doing around the world now. But the British government can't. Why? Well, we know why. Labour failed to fix the roof when the sun was shining. Gordon Brown will do anything to avoid telling this country the truth. So as he won't, I will. The cupboard is bare. There is no more money. Tax revenues have collapsed. Unemployment costs are rising. Borrowing is out of control. Labour has done it again. So it is no good us talking about the big upfront tax giveaways we might like to make, or the big spending increases it might be nice to have, because I repeat, there is no more money. I listened to Gordon Brown with mounting amazement. £1 billion here, £1 billion there, £2.7 billion on losing the Crewe by-election, which is £2.7 billion more than it cost us. All unfunded, all unpaid for. Gordon Brown is spending money like there's no tomorrow. Well, for him, maybe there is no tomorrow. But for us, there is. And I believe that there is nothing more irresponsible, nothing more cynical or unfair than getting the next generation to pay the bills that you're not prepared to pay yourself. Our first priority will have to be bringing stability to the public finances. We've announced a radically new approach that will change forever the way budgets are made in this country. We're going to scrap the dishonest, discredited, and worthless fiscal rules. They have been fixed and fiddled so many times by Gordon Brown, no one believes them anymore. He went on and on and on about his golden rule, but it turns out the golden rule is this: never trust a Labour government with the public finances. Instead, the next Conservative government will make this clear commitment. We will put the government finances on a path out of the red and into the black. Our goal over time will be to balance the current budget and ensure falling national debt. We will put sound money first. But I want to make sure that this won't be yet another promise made by a politician which is then broken. So we will do what no government has ever done before. We will set up an Office for Budget Responsibility, independent of the government like the Bank of England is. And this independent office will stand in judgment over our commitments and hold us to our promises. And it will let the whole country know if we try to wriggle out of them. No more fiddling of the rules, no more dodgy statistics, no more hidden PFI borrowing. Chancellors will be forced to behave responsibly with the public finances or face the public consequences. And if even after what I have told you about the need to return to sound money, there are still some who think that Britain can borrow to pay for big unfunded tax cuts, let me just say this to you. I want to cut taxes too. I want to put money back into the pockets of families and help businesses compete. It is the aspiration and ambition of this party that we leave office with taxes lower than when we came in.